First microphone, clearly state your name and address when recognized, and give your comments.
Greg Saltz.
Mr. Mayor, my name is Greg Saltz. I live at 23 Pendacook Street. I've given everybody a copy of an ordinance, of an anti-graffiti ordinance that is from Salem, Oregon, and I've read some from other communities, and I've looked at quite a few, and I think that's a direction we need to go, and I'll kind of lay out my case a little bit for you. Graffiti has increased precipitously in Manchester to the point it's pretty embarrassing. You know, I have people that come visit me from out of state, and that's one of the first things that they talk about. So I see four options ahead of us. The first one is basically to maintain the status quo, where we have a city graffiti removal guy who waits for a landlord to contact him to say, oh, by the way, I have graffiti in my building, can you remove it? And then they basically get in line and wait for him to do it, and it's pretty much an uphill battle. So I don't see option one as working. Option two is to purchase another graffiti van, hire another city employee, and have two people going out and doing it. But I still don't see that taking care of the problem. I still see that as an uphill battle, so I don't see option two working. Option three, we can sit back and watch people like Robert DeBro, who removes graffiti on his own time down at the Riverwalk, people like myself who removes graffiti in my neighborhood. But I don't see option three working because people are just going to, give up or move. It's just, we can't go out and go places without permission and start removing all the graffiti. So to me, the only option is option four, which is for this city to adopt an anti-graffiti ordinance similar to the one that I've given you. And basically what this ordinance does is the city will see a piece of graffiti or some graffiti on a building, and they will notify the landlord that you have 10 days to remove the graffiti or face a $250 fine. And what these communities do is they have private contractors that they will contact, and they will have them take care of the problem, and they will bill the landlord. They call it a nuisance. They label graffiti a nuisance, which is, I think, in the Manchester Code of Ordinance, Title 9, Chapter 99, basically is the same thing. What we call it is a nuisance, but the only thing we do is we have a fine of up to $1,000 if we catch the person doing the graffiti. We're not really charging the landlord, or forcing the landlord to take care of the issue. I sat down with Tracy Deggs years ago to be a neighborhood watch guy.
30 seconds.
And there's basically a theory called the broken windows theory, and which is one of the reasons I wanted to be the neighborhood watch guy, which if there's a broken window in your neighborhood and it remains unbroken and nobody fixes it, somebody will come along and break another window and break another window. But if you take care of it, then people will move along and say, this is a nice neighborhood. So I see, Yogi Berra once said, if you come to a fork in the road, take it. So I pretty much see Manchester at a fork in the road, and we can go down one path, which
3
is
minutes.
Lawrence, Mass, or we can go down another path like Salem, Oregon, and Green, I think it's Greenland, North Carolina. In North Carolina, they celebrated 1 year since this ordinance passed, and the local news crew went down and interviewed the business owners, and they said they've seen a nearly 100% change in the graffiti in 1 year. And I think that's something that I would love to hear or see the aldermen seriously consider, okay?